Scientists are doing an amazing job in researching and educating the public about the impact of human activities. Some governments have responded and are working to prevent loss of biodiversity. Today, we're learning about what's being done.
Scientists and concerned citizens have put in place programs to reduce the negative effects of humans on ecosystems and biodiversity. These include breeding programs for endangered species, like this golden lion tamarin, which can be pretty hard as some species take a long time to reproduce, and it's important to prevent inbreeding. Even if it is successful, often the species' natural habitat has been destroyed, so there's nowhere to safely release them. Another method is the protection and regeneration of rare habitats. This will secure a home for the species that live there. These habitats include wetlands and coral reef. Thirdly, when farmers grow only one type of crop in a field, they've been encouraged to reintroduce hedgerows, which are these bushes and shrubs that separate fields, and field margins, which are unfarmed areas around the crop. This will allow wildflowers and other species like insects and birds to live there. And this is the same for hedgerows. They provide a home for lots of countryside animals. Okay, there's two more methods you need to know. This is the reduction of deforestation and carbon dioxide emissions. But this is only by some governments. Unfortunately, it's not being done worldwide, and some countries refuse to acknowledge the level of threat that we're facing from climate change. And finally, 5, recycling resources rather than dumping waste in landfill. This would help to reduce the toxic waste entering our soils and waterways and reduce the consumption of new materials. Okay, well, this topic is likely to come up as a 6-mark question, so it's important that you do learn all of these methods. A good idea to help you remember them would be to come up with a mnemonic. We'll come up with one now. So let's just recap what each letter stands for. B is for breeding endangered species. PH is protection of habitats. FMH is field margins and hedgerows. DCO is reducing deforestation and carbon dioxide emissions. And R is for recycling. So these are our 5 methods of maintaining biodiversity. Now we'll go through and make a mnemonic, which is a silly sentence to help you remember these letters. You can learn more about this in my mnemonic video, but here's one that I've come up with. Big pandas have frequent madness. However, doctors can only record. So I'm imagining a grumpy panda and a doctor standing nearby looking at them and recording their observations. Time to check. So can you remember what the mnemonic is? Pause or just say it out loud, and maybe this silly illustration will help. Here it is. Big pandas have frequent madness, however doctors can only record. Now pause the video and see if you can say the 5 methods of maintaining biodiversity using these letters. Here they are. Let me know, how many did you get right? You can leave a comment below saying how many you got out of 5. It's time for some quick questions. In this topic, it's really likely that you'll be given information and an evaluate question, as it's linked to 2 evaluate parts of the working scientifically part of the spec. So that's what we're going to take a look at now. Pause the video, grab some pen and paper, and take your time trying to do the questions well, and then press play to go through the answers. 1. Describe the pattern shown in the graph. Okay, so the word describe means you need to give data if you've been given some to work with. So we can look at the overall pattern, and then we should pick some numbers off of the graph to help us with our answer. So we'll start by giving the general trend. The loss of tropical primary forest has increased between 2002 and 2018, and now the numbers, by nearly 1 million hectares, because it's 2.7 to nearly 3.7. Okay, now let's look at the shape of that line. It's not linear, and we can see that the middle part is steeper than the other two parts, which are a bit flatter. So we can say that the rate of deforestation was most rapid between 2006 to 2014, as the gradient of the line was a lot steeper. You can actually also say it the other way around and talk about the flatter parts of the line. Number 2. In 2014, 10 countries with tropical rainforest signed an agreement to reduce deforestation. Evaluate the success of this agreement. And by the way, I just made that up for this question. That's not actually true. Okay, so it's 2014. So let's take a look at that point on the graph. And we already saw that it was flatter after that. So you could argue that there has been some success as the rate of deforestation is slower between 2014 to 2018 than it was before the agreement. However, look at the line and we can see that the overall amount of tropical primary forest loss has increased rather than decreased. So the agreement has not been very successful. You can argue it either way. And number 3, in 2016, there was a record high of 6.1 million hectares lost. This wasn't all due to deforestation. Suggests another factor that could have contributed to this. It could be wildfires, disease, or even storm damage. You'll notice these are all natural causes rather than human causes. Okay, those are hard questions, but how did you do?
Well done! If you study combined science, then that is the end of the ecology topic. If you study triple, you've got a little bit more to do. I really hope you found this video useful, and please subscribe to my channel. I've got lots of other videos, for example maths and science and required practicals. Thanks and bye!